Hi, my name is Bailey McRae, and today I'll be talking about how educators can support English learners by recognizing their cultural and linguistic strengths and by building strong connections between school and home. An asset based approach means understanding that English learners bring valuable experiences, languages, and knowledge to the classroom. And instead of viewing these differences as barriers, teachers can choose to see them as strengths to support their learning. Culture plays an important role in how students learn and interact in the classroom. It can affect how students communicate, how they ask questions, and how they interact with teachers and their classmates. Culture also helps us to shape their identity, which usually has an impact on their motivation and engagement in learning. And culture competence is an important part of teaching English learners because it means that teachers understand and respect their students' cultural backgrounds and adjust instruction to support their learning. It causes teachers to reflect on their own beliefs and teaching practices to make sure that they are creating an inclusive environment. Teachers can include students' cultural values and beliefs in instructional ways. For example, they can use multicultural literature so that the students see their cultures represented in what they are reading. Teachers can also encourage them to talk about their culture, and their backgrounds. These strategies help the students to feel more valued and respected. And when their culture's identities are recognized, it makes learning that much more meaningful for them. The classroom environment itself also affects English learners' language acquisition. Visual supports and structured routines help them to understand expectations and classroom tasks. And at the same time, welcoming environments and positive peer relationships encourage students to practice English and feel more comfortable with communicating. Cooperative learning games and activities can also give students opportunities to work together and practice that language in a genuine and natural way. Teachers can also support and celebrate cultural diversity by creating opportunities for students to share their traditions, their celebrations, foods, or stories with their classmates. And this can be done by having them work on projects that focus on exploring their background and family traditions, or by celebrating cultural heritage months or holding multicultural events in the classroom itself. Teachers can leverage their students' native languages as a strength in the classroom by having bilingual peer support so that the students can help each other to understand instructions and concepts. The teachers can also connect new English vocabulary to the students' first language. And it's important that students can also demonstrate their learning through visuals and presentations or bilingual responses to help build that connection as well. Now, with supporting the needs of English learners have a plethora of strengths and needs, so teachers need to use a variety of strategies to support them. And these can include differentiated instruction, visuals, modeling, and hands-on activities that make the lessons more accessible. They can use scaffolding strategies such as sentence frames and guided practice so that it helps the students build their language and academic skills. Additionally, they can use flexible assessments and collaborative learning activities to help them demonstrate their understanding in different ways. It's also important to support their social and emotional needs. Building strong relationships with students helps to create a classroom where the students feel safe and supported, and providing them with opportunities to speak without fear of making mistakes can also help to build that confidence and comfortability. Recognizing and celebrating students' cultural identities helps them to feel respected and valued and like they belong there in the classroom. Understanding students' social, emotional, and cultural needs is also important when establishing classroom routines. Consistent and culturally responsive routines help to create that sense of safety, predictability, and again, helps them to feel included. Modeling the expectations clearly helps English learners understand what is expected of them in the classroom. Now, in building home and school connections, family and community practices play a huge role in their language learning. Families pass down language, traditions, and cultural knowledge that influence how they learn. Students' home experiences also provide valuable background knowledge that can support their learning in the classroom. Teachers can build strong partnerships with families by providing translated materials and interpretation services if and when needed. Consistent communication with families also helps to build that trust. Additionally, inviting families to come to school and participate in the school events or classroom activities helps to build that connection as well, and they feel like they have a part in their students' learning. Family engagement practices should also highlight the value of their home languages. Teachers can encourage the families to read with their children in their home language, which helps to support their literacy development. And the school can also host multicultural family nights where families share about their individual traditions and experiences. Celebrating their multilingualism helps the students and families to see that their language is amazing. There's so many great things to it, and it's such a strength for them to have. In conclusion, recognizing the cultural and linguistic assets of English learners helps create inclusive classrooms where students feel valued and supported. Through culturally responsive teaching, supportive classroom environments, and strong partnerships with families, educators can help English learners succeed academically and socially. Thank you for the opportunity to share these strategies for supporting English learners, and I hope that helps to in the classroom with however you need.